Thank you so much, Dr. Piyush, for such an comprehensive talk on how to construct the phylogenies, and it gave an insight into the subject, and it was a learning for us also, and I'm sure for the participants also. Now I would like to take up few questions from the participants to you, Dr. Piyush. First question is, what is the need for putting an outgroup?
Outgroup is important because whenever you are making trees, like if I am making a tree only from plants, so there are chances that some due to some errors or miss software misinterpretations, some wrongly placed elements would be there, some wrongly tree will be placed. So an outgroup will help in identifying the reliability of a tree, because if I am placing like bacteria with studying with some plants, so and bacteria will help in making an outgroup. The position of that outgroup will help in to study the reliability of a tree. If the bacteria will come between the plants, then there is a chances that there is some wrong information that have been put. So an outgroup will help to identify the reliability of a tree, to provide the tree is basically statistically correct or not.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Piyush. Next question is, what is the use of unrooted tree?
Okay. There are many during evolution process. Basically, it's not always that we know that which is the common ancestor. In many experiments, we have an idea that it may, like in humans, we say monkey will be the common ancestor, but in many of the cases, we have no prior idea that who is, there may be any common ancestor. So unrooted tree basically is designed that or any you identify the common ancestor depending on your own tree, not directly pre-formed information.
Oh, all right, sir. One question is, what is the difference between the biological species and the phylogenetic species?
Biological species and phylogenetic species. Basically, biological species is a Lamarck gave the concept of biological species, that at that time we do not study evolutionary relationships, but now with the introduction of this phylogeny concept, we say the species have arisen from a particular ancestor. So phylogeny species, we have a prior idea that from which evolutionary lineage that this species have originated, while in biological we have no, we say the species emerged due to some biological processes, some events.
All right, sir. Are phylogenetic trees always in the form of binary trees? Can there be more than two branches from one node?
Yes. I have not actually. Very good question. There are trees which are called as polytomy, in which from one node there are different lineage that are raised. Yes, it is a very, not always it is the same binary. It's called polytomy. There is a condition which is called polytomy, in which from one node there may be different origins. Yes, there are such things without binary also.
Okay, sir. So what do the numbers on the branches depict?
Number on the branches, it's basically, it's, you can set branch numbers, can be branch length. It do the way, basically the important thing is they are length only, they do not say the evolutionary lineage.
They
The
may
one,
be the bootstrap value also, maybe
they may
they
be
are.
the bootstrap value depending on your conditions which you have put on your while making a tree.
Yes. Then there is one question that one student has asked, that how do we decide which is the outgroup in the tree?
How you decide which is an outgroup?
I mean,
This is this
maybe
year.
we intend to ask that looking on a tree, can you decide that a particular group is an outgroup, or particular taxa is an outgroup?
Yeah, you can decide, you can tell the outgroup. Basically, you can interpret the outgroup based on, from the root you will see that which is on the separate lineage. It is not forming from all the lineage, which is different from other clades, basically a separate clade from the node. That is an outgroup.
Okay, sir. So there are some other questions also. I think we can take this last question. What is the use of the circular topography tree made through Mega?
Actually, the circular trees are made when there are very large number of gene sequences. Basically, when you are for smaller groups, you can make a rectangular, but when there are large number of trees, you have to use all 360-degree angle to depict. So they are in presently when you are studying angiosperms. So there are large number of circular trees which you will see in the studies, because you can represent large number of genera, genome sequences, protein sequences through a circular tree than a typical from a traditional rectangular, because it will take a space.
So maybe we can say that it is just a different type, a different way of representing a tree.
Yeah,
I mean, for the same tree, we can depict through the circular topography also, and through the rooted and unrooted tree also. The same data can be used to make
can be,
any
but
of
it
these.
actually it is easy to interpret large data with circular trees.
Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Piyush, for this talk, and it indeed has increased, and it has given a, it has incited our minds to go into detail of this phylogenetic analysis, and it is indeed very central to the plant sciences at least. So thank you so much for giving the introduction to the subject.
Thank you.
And now I would like to hand over to Dr. Savinder for a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tabashum. It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. Actually, it was really a very productive day in terms of academic knowledge. I, Dr. Savindra, on behalf of the organizing committee, Department of Botany, would like to thank our esteemed speaker, Dr. Piyush Mathur and Dr. Ruchi Veer. We are grateful to you, Dr. Mathur, for having consented to deliver the hands-on session on finding evolutionary relationship between different organisms by using software Mega, a very relevant topic in the context of evolutionary biological research. We are grateful to you for having spared your valuable time in motivating our students and all the participants in the field of bioinformatics. We are grateful to Dr. Ruchi Veer for a very illustrative presentation, which I am sure kept the participant absolutely engrossed. Thank you for building up the topic of sequence alignment in a manner that a student could connect with its role in evolutionary biology. I am also grateful to our principal sir, Professor M.M. Beg, for his constant motivation and support in the organization of various events of the department. Thanks are also due to all the participants from various colleges and from different universities and institutes for their participation in this workshop. I would like to put on record the valuable contribution of our team of extremely dedicated volunteers. Thank you, my dear students. I also wish to express my deep sense of gratitude to all the members of the Department of Botany for actively participating and contributing in the smooth conduct of the workshop. Thank you all once again for being with us in this evening. Thank you all. Have a
Thank you,
nice
sir.
time.
Thank you, Dr. Savinder. There is just one announcement to be made for the participants that the assessment based on today's two talks will soon be available, and all participants are requested to attempt that assessment for sure, because as you know that the attempt to the assessment is prerequisite to get your certificate for successful completion of this workshop, and we will meet tomorrow for another interesting and comprehensive session at 3 p.m. Till then, thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
I request the participants to kindly leave the meeting.